Adele O'Neill.
Thanks, PJ, and gosh, thanks for inviting me to this Toastmaster Leadership Institute. It has been a while, I admit, I'm sorry, but I will try to come to more Toastmaster events in the future because I retired on August 15th. Some of you out in the audience already know this, and you're probably just chomping at the bit to say, but she already did it once! Yeah, well, I did it for real on August 15th. I worked an extra year, but I am retired now, for real. But it is an honor to be asked to be the keynote speaker for the Toastmaster Leadership for District 7. I mean, I've been in District 7 my whole time in Toastmasters. I joined in 1991, and this is my home. You are my family. You know, the funny thing is, when you're asked to give a presentation like this, the first thing they want to know is, well, what's the title of your speech? What's the title of your speech going to be? And I guess I need to stand in front here a little bit. This is not going to work. I'm going to try this anyway, PJ.
Okay.
So, what are you going to call this thing? What's a good title for something like this? So, you know, I started, I know you're all Toastmasters, so you've all gone through the same thing. What's a good title? Well, okay, so here are some that I did, I tried out for size. All in for district leadership. I thought, oh, I don't know. Because that just sounds like we want you to be only in district leadership. But there's all other kinds of leadership that we're going to talk about. So, nah, I don't like that one. Next one, calling all leaders, and those who don't think they're leaders. Okay, well, no, that's too negative, and besides, it's way too long. It's way too long. I know they wouldn't want it on the program that way. Third one. What? Me in district leadership? Now, I must admit, I did think that when I was first asked to, or asked to, I guess, consider being in district leadership. That was one of my thoughts was, what? You want me in district leadership? But I think that, you know, we all have different reasons for why we step into leadership. But for obvious reasons, I didn't use that title. What I did select is the heart of Toastmaster leadership. And this is based on how I have felt about leadership in Toastmasters over the years. Like I said, I've been in Toastmasters since '91, and I've done a lot of different things. I haven't done absolutely everything, though, PJ. I must admit, I never was an area governor. What? I was an assistant area governor, and then I jumped into the division, what's now called the division director position. But, so I don't know, maybe someday I should consider being an area governor, or area director, area director. But this theme, the heart of Toastmaster leadership, is the way I have always felt about Toastmaster leadership. And so I was really excited when I found out that Emily, her theme, I mean, the way she feels about it is the same. Members are the heart of Toastmasters. And I wish I had thought of saying it that way many years ago, but members are the heart of Toastmasters, and it's true. So today we're going to talk about leadership opportunities in Toastmasters and how they impact everyone involved. So whether you're a member, a club officer, a current or past district officer, whatever reason brought you here to Toastmasters today, and for the reasons that you stay in Toastmasters, we all have something to offer to make the best Toastmaster experience for everyone. And isn't that what it's all about? So let's get started. Yeah, 91, that's kind of a long time. But I stay in Toastmasters for a variety of reasons, but I decided, what are some of the other reasons that people stay? Why do we stay in Toastmasters? I need some people to share why they stay in Toastmasters.
For competition.
The competition, okay.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's fun, yes.
Friends.
Friends, yes.
Skill building.
Yes,
Skill building.
yes.
Guilt.
Oh, skill building, I'm sorry. Skill building, definitely. You build all kinds of skills. In the back.
Yeah, I think it's a way for us to learn about different perspectives and to appreciate each other as people. So not that we tolerate each other's perspectives, but we might not agree with each other, but we accept each other
Yes,
regardless of our perspectives. That's
Yes.
what I like.
I like that. It's important to accept and respect everyone. And that's the beauty of this organization. It's an international organization. How many of you have been to an international convention? Okay, a few of you. Oh my gosh, if you ever get the opportunity to go to the international convention, they're always held in August in the hottest part of the world, or the most muggy or whatever. But if you get the chance to go. It is an incredible, life-changing experience because you get to meet people literally from all over the world. And it's just what you were talking about. It's that learning to, finding out about all different kinds of people and cultures and respecting and appreciating everyone. So I think it's really good. What are some other reasons?
Supportive.
I'm sorry, what? Who said that?
Supportive.
Oh, supportive, yes.
Personal growth.
Personal growth.
The new members, who's going to pass what I've learned down unless I stay?
There you go. Right.
Helping people thrive.
Helping people thrive, definitely.
To share what I've received.
Share what I've received. I like that one, yeah. Anything else? I haven't heard one thing that is really important.
Oh, I'd love to hear some of the table topic responses. That's fun.
Oh, geez, yeah. That's a side joke. Stop it. We happen to be in the same Toastmaster club. Emily.
Learning how to find your voice.
Yes, learning how to find your voice. There was somebody back here.
Out of sync officer and dues period.
Oh, there we go.
Become an officer in June, come the end, April, you can't quit because you still have 3 months left. And then they start into being another officer that June.
I know.
July 1st.
Do you think Toastmasters did that on purpose? There was somebody over here. Oh, yes.
Challenging your fear of public speaking, rebuilding your brain in response to the fear of being judged by others, standing up in front of others, and allowing yourself to fully stand in your own truth and speak your own truth no matter what. And
Yes.
be supported in doing it. It's a place to practice and make mistakes.
Definitely. It's a safe place to practice and learn. So, yeah, excellent. Anything I still haven't heard? There's one more thing. I haven't heard it. Yeah.
To give back.
Give back? Yep.
Learn how to reach people effectively.
That's right. Yeah. Reach people effectively. Phyllis.
To say what everybody else has said, it's where leaders are made.
That's right. Where leaders are made. Yeah.
I have 2 reasons. Number one, I actually love hearing
stories, and this is actually the place, the Toastmasters. And the second reason, at some point I recognized that the journey of gaining and being confident is never ending.
Right. Being confident is never ending, that journey, and it is, we're on a journey. So what about leadership? There's no clock in the back. You're gonna need to tell me what about leadership? I think that's what we're talking about today. Yeah.
To help train the future leaders.
Yep. It does. So, oh yeah, Alan.
I like mentoring, not only Toastmasters, but
But what? Oh, okay. There you go. Okay. So, no matter what role we take in Toastmasters, we're there for each other. And we learn ourselves, but we also personally influence extraordinary results for other people too. And being part of the leadership in Toastmasters gives us that opportunity to gain ourselves, but to also give. So because members of the Heart of Toastmasters and the opportunity to learn and hone our leadership skills is one of the reasons why we stay. I think the importance of strong leadership at the club level and beyond is pretty obvious. So today, we're going to talk about the leadership opportunities in Toastmasters. I'm not going to talk anything about what you do, how you do it. Guess what? That's the next part of the TLI. That's the next part of the program. We have people that are going to be talking about all the club offices, but what we're going to be talking about is leadership from maybe a little broader perspective, why you should be in it, what you get out of it, and why it's so important that we all participate. When I was thinking about, gosh, everybody in here is a leader, I'm not going to be able to tell them anything they don't already know. So how am I going to do this? How am I going to tell them? How am I going to, not tell them, how am I going to talk about Toastmaster leadership in a way that is going to be meaningful? Well, I decided to do it around the word heart. So the H, now some of you are going to laugh at these because you'll see when I, so heart, here's what you gain as a leader. I dare you to think of, as we go along, go ahead, tell me later. You should have used this word instead of here. No, but here's what you gain as a leader. The E, everyone has goals. Amazing, meaningful work. Remember to have fun. And the leadership roles available. Oh dear. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So the H, here's what you gain as a leader. Excuse me. Experience working with others. You know, in my time with Toastmasters, I learned the most from probably being a district officer. It's not that I didn't learn a lot from being a club officer, but I think I learned the most from being a district officer. And that's because you're working with people who are not in your club. You don't really know them. And what the lady back there said, you know, you learn how people are. You learn to respect people and accept all of our differences. And when you're in a district role, you really learn that. But when I was region advisor, it was the second year of the program. Toastmasters International was still trying to figure out, okay, what are these region advisors going to do? And as far as I know, Alan, correct me if I'm wrong, there have only been 2 region advisors from District 7. Myself, and then Alan Ettinger was a region advisor the year after me. So second and third year in the program, we were kind of pioneers from District 7, yeah. So I like to give District 7 all the credit for my time as a region advisor. But it was interesting because I had one district, not going to name names, one district that didn't want a region advisor. They said, we don't need a region advisor. You can't tell us anything we don't already know about our district and about Toastmasters. So I let them go on their own, and I would continue to let them know, okay, well, the monthly call is coming up, and we're doing this, and we're doing that, and giving them information. And the whole year went by, and they never did really want to participate. So when I ran into them at the International Convention at the end of the year, and they weren't distinguished, I didn't say nanner because it doesn't have anything to do with me. I was not there for their success. I was there just to assist them and ask the questions and help them see the bigger picture. And they chose not to do it. So they felt like they didn't succeed. I don't know if they participated the next year or not. Alan and I never talked about that, but I think, learning how to work with others is something that you gain as a leader. Learn and hone your time management skills. I think that all of us, especially if you've been in district leadership, but even a club president and the VP of Education, those 2 roles are very time consuming. But I know as a district governor, I was working full time and driving to Salem every day, and then working about 20 hours a week on district governor stuff at the time, district director. So you need to know about time management. This is where you really learn about time management. Does anybody else have any experience or want to share a story about how Toastmasters has helped them with their time management? Yeah.
So, hi, I'm David Clayton. I'm the area director for Area 55. Last year, I was also that area director, and I learned firsthand, you do not turn in club visit reports at the last minute. Don't do it. This year, I learned to get it done a month early, and that was my way to do it.
Yes, good point. You learn how to plan things out because it really is important. Strengthen your, yes.
My name is Joanna. I'm the president of the Flying Coasters in Salem. And we were just talking this last week at our meeting about time and that negotiation that happens. So we learn to step up when we tend to be late and be on time. And when we're rigid with time, we learn to step up and let there be flexibility, that sometimes the meeting needs to start a few minutes late, and that's okay too, sometimes. So kind of stepping up and learning both ways and that negotiation that happens with time.
Yeah, and that's important to learn how to do it both ways, because guess what? It happens both ways. It happens all different ways. So you need to learn how to roll with it. And I think that's what Toastmasters has really taught me, is how to roll with it. Yeah. Strengthen project management skills. How many of you do any project work in your job? Yes? Oh, okay, so quite a few of you. Yeah. How have you discovered that this skill helps you in Toastmasters? Have you noticed that? Yeah.
Planning, communication, planning, communication.
That's right. And not just all emails either.
No.
Not just all emails.
Telephone works.
Yes, that's right, delegation, that's right. Yeah, don't try to take it on all yourself. It's project management. Don't do it all yourself. Talk to other people, get them involved, and you take the lead on it, but get some help, because you don't want to burn yourself out. You don't want to burn yourself out. Bill, oh, yes.
Well, I think opportunities to lead in Toastmasters can help you in other parts of your life. If you're the conference chair, if you're working on TLI and helping to organize that, the skills that you learn from doing those as a volunteer in Toastmasters, you can carry over either into your work life or your volunteer life outside of Toastmasters. And Toastmasters is probably where I've learned the most in regards to being able to do a project and learn all the skills that were necessary.
I definitely agree with that. Yes.
One of the beauties of volunteering with Toastmasters is that feedback is a natural part of the program, and it's safer here than at work. So you practice here, you make a few mistakes, people help you, and when you roll it out in life, they're like, "Why are you so competent?" You're like, "Toastmasters."
Yeah, right. So confidence, oh my gosh. I know when I was running for district governor, I was district governor 2002, 2003, so kind of a long time ago, but story is still valid. When I was running for district governor, I heard that through the grapevine that there were a couple people who had been in district leadership that Adele won't be a good district governor because she's too quiet. Well, that got back to me, and well, yes, I'm quiet, but I'm not stupid, and I'm not lazy. I love Toastmasters. Toastmasters changed my life. So I'm not going to let this bother me. I'm just going to move forward, and I won the election. So I figured, okay, well, enough people thought that I could do it. So I continued on. And every day I spent time recognizing everything's going to be fine. Well, we ended the year 12th in the world. Select distinguished. Now, did I do that? Heck no. But I played a role in it. And it built so much confidence for me to know that, yes, I'm a quiet person. I wasn't out here in the front of the room screaming and yelling and jumping up and down and all that stuff. You don't have to be that kind of person. Now, if you have a leader like that, that's great, because it's fun. I love watching people that are really enthusiastic, exuberant, all of those things. I love it. I just don't happen to be that way. I'm more quiet. But it did build a lot of confidence in me to know that, yes, I could do it, and I did it, and I continue to do it. Help advance your career. I can't tell you how many things that I learned in Toastmasters helped me do my career. I was in human resources for 22 years with the state of Oregon. And a big part, probably about 50% of my time, was doing career counseling and helping people achieve their goals, helping them get a job with the state. I helped other people get jobs outside of the state if that was not something that they wanted to do. But my main focus was getting the good people with great skills jobs at the state of Oregon. Guess what skills I was using? Listening.
Yes.
Evaluating.
Yes.
giving feedback. I mean, every day. And it was just a constant. So I think that being in Toastmasters helped me advance my career. Who else feels that Toastmasters has helped them advance their career? Okay, quite a few of you. Anybody want to share anything? Harvey.
Yeah, I had a few years ago. I had the position opened up. It was for a promotion, and it had 4 people. I had 4 other people applying on it, and went through an interview with a interview panel, and later I got the job, and my boss told me that he said that I was the one candidate who was able to express myself as an engineering position, but the other people were not able to express themselves as well.
Right. Yeah, he was able to express himself. Table topics, woohoo! You know, I mean, that's what it's all about. Anybody else want to share? Yes.
I'm Eric Bergman from We Toasted Toastmasters in Lake Oswego, and in my career as a writer and editor, my manager knew that I was a longtime Toastmaster. So when the opportunity came up for someone to write speeches for clients, I was chosen. So I got to write executive speeches for the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, top executives, and Microsoft executives based on her knowledge of my involvement giving and writing speeches for Toastmasters.
Wow, that's cool. John.
I was a project manager and had satellite installation individuals that I had never met before. So being able to get on the phone with them in a high stress, high stakes situation and create connection within about 30 seconds, get their problems out from them, extract them from them. So table topics, being table topics master on that and having them answer candidly and in the moment, and then be able to get the right stuff to keep them safe. And so being able to do that using Toastmaster techniques.
Oh yeah, definitely. Right. Oh. Broaden your support network. How many of you have experienced that? You know, this is, okay, a few of you. I think this is important when you need assistance and you know who to call. You have this cadre of people that you can call and say, hey, what did you do when you were doing this? Or how do you think I should do this? And when I was district governor, I used to call the previous district governors all the time and just say, help, you know, here's what the situation is, what do you think I should do? Because another thing I think about being in Toastmasters especially, or being in any volunteer leadership role, is you never want to complain down, okay? You never want to complain down. You only want to complain at your same level or up. And by complain, sometimes it's venting, sometimes it's just asking for assistance. It's not always just complaining, but you never want to, you know, talk down somebody at a lower level, okay? So broadening your support network, I think, is really important. Realizing you made a difference. Realizing that you make a difference. All of us, whether we're an officer or a leader in Toastmasters or we're just a member, every time you go to a Toastmaster club meeting, I believe we make a difference in everyone who is there in their life. Because we're sharing things about ourselves, we're helping them to learn about themselves. So I think it's every day we make a difference in other people's lives. Influencing others. The story that popped in my head when I wrote this down was not how I influenced somebody, but how they influenced me. And there's maybe only one person or two people in this room that would even get to know about this story, but when I first joined Toastmasters, I entered a speech contest because my club voted my speech in the humorous speech contest the best. And so I had to go to the area. Okay, I got to go to the area. But I'd only been in Toastmasters for about 6 months. I was so freaked out. I was so freaked out. I had never given a speech in front of more than about 10 or 12 people. I was petrified. I was told, you have to memorize your speech. I was like, what? I practiced and practiced and practiced. I went to the area contest, and there were probably 40, maybe even more people there than that. It was, I can't even tell you how freaked out I was. We drew for orders, for speaking order. I was going to be last. So I got to sit there and listen to all of these fantastic speeches. And I got up, was introduced, stood there, smiled at the audience, started my speech. About 15 seconds into my speech, it's like somebody turned the switch off in my brain, and I couldn't remember a single word. I couldn't remember the theme. I couldn't remember the topic. I couldn't remember my name. And I stood there for probably, it seemed like an eternity. It was probably, 5 seconds or something. And I just looked at everybody in the audience and I said, I'm sorry, I can't do this. And I scurried back to my seat. Well, the Toastmaster jumped up and came over and said, really, we'll let you start over. It's okay. Come on up. No, thanks. Thank you. And I was smiling the whole time. Oh, thank you so much. But no, I'm good. Thank you. Let's just move on. And so, because I was the last speaker, we had a break. So during the break, a few people came up to me, and my club members came up to me and patting me on the shoulder. It'll be okay. But I remember one person came up to me, Woody Turner, and I know most of you don't know who Woody Turner is, but he and his wife were longtime Toastmasters in the Vancouver area, and I don't even know if they're still Toastmasters. He came up to me and he said, Adele, if you don't let this event, if you don't let this situation affect you, and you quit Toastmasters, if you don't let this get to you, you will do some great things. And to be honest, I was thinking, I just think I'm just going to quit. But when Woody came up and talked to me, I did. I went home and I thought about it. And I realized he's right, because if I quit now, what have I gained? So I didn't quit. Now I'm not, I don't know, nothing I did was great, but I did move forward and I did a lot of different things like, PJ said, I've been pretty much every role in the second year as a region advisor. But that, fellow Toastmasters, that was influence. I mean, he truly influenced me, and so I have always remembered that. And even now, when I get into a tough situation and I think, what would Woody do? Or what would Woody tell me to do? But that's how I approach Toastmasters. Member is the heart. Members are the heart of Toastmasters. If you always remember that, you're influencing others. Get back to the organization and others. Somebody mentioned that. Learn and hone your impromptu speaking. Table topics. Interviews. Your boss asking you how that project is going. Your spouse asking you what's for dinner. Whatever. It's impromptu speaking, and you need to, the more you learn to be comfortable with impromptu speaking, the better. Everyone has goals. Help them attain them, yourself included. Really, you will have a richer and more enjoyable leadership experience if you take time to identify What are your goals? What do you want to do? What do you like to do? Because if you are doing something that you enjoy, you're going to probably be better at it. You're going to learn more. You're going to definitely give a lot more than, to everyone around you. So think about that. In a few minutes, we're going to be talking just about the leadership roles that are available in Toastmasters. And I know that from this list, there's something for everybody. Speaking of goals, has anyone noticed that I haven't said one word about, in Toastmaster leadership, that your club needs to be distinguished. The district needs to be distinguished. And here's how we do it. That's because, like in the movie Field of Dreams, one of the characters said, if you build it, they will come. This is why members are the heart of Toastmasters. If you help every member achieve their goals, a lot of this stuff just happens. If every member is doing their speeches, if everybody's evaluating them, if everybody's working in the program at the district level, if all those clubs and areas and divisions are working hard to make sure that the member gets what they want out of their Toastmaster experience, everything along the route of Toastmaster leadership is pretty much going to happen. And you just need to kind of manage it and see, okay, in our club, who's going to be doing speeches and who's going to be, finishing the different levels. And so it's the same thing at the district level. You don't have to get up here at the district meetings and say, okay, now here's what we need. Because yes, there are a few people who are very task-driven, I guess. Maybe that's a good way to say it. And they will do things for you just because you need them to do them. Okay, I'll finish my last 3 speeches to get that level or whatever. But you want them to do it because it means something to them. And it's a goal for them. A, amazing, meaningful work. In Toastmasters, we really do amazing, meaningful work. I mean, where else can you become a better speaker, strengthen your leadership skills, learn to listen more effectively, give meaningful evaluations, build your network, influence others, learn about time management, build your confidence and self-esteem, and have fun at the same time, all for the low price of international dues at $45 for 6 months? Are you kidding? Where? So, most of you at TLI today are already in club leadership. How many club officers do we have? Okay, almost everybody, which I kind of expected because guess what? TLI is about leader training, club leader training. But I applaud everybody in the audience for being here because no matter what your role is in Toastmaster, whether you're an officer, you're a district officer, or you're just a club member, we all have something to make the Toastmaster experience good for everybody. So what stands out for you? I'm going to call on PJ. What stands out for you regarding the meaningful work that we do in Toastmasters that you've experienced yourself?
Sure. Whoops, I can use this thing. Can I? Is it on? No.
There, no. Okay. Meaningful work. I was a corporate trainer for about 4.5 years in my former life, and I really enjoyed that job, especially when I saw the light come on, when people got it. That is probably one of the most meaningful things for me in Toastmasters. I really appreciate it when I see that something experienced members have shared with the newbies and they get it. That is very meaningful to me, and that's a reward in and of itself.
Thank you. remember to have fun. You know, a lot of times when I would tell people, remember to have fun, they'd roll their eyes at me, or I could tell they were thinking, oh my God, are you kidding? This is just work. It's just time consuming. It's work. What do you mean? It's just a volunteer gig. That's even more reason to have fun, because that's a good reason, you know, to do these things.
It's all the pay you get.
It's all the pay you get. Jay just said, it's all the pay you get is having fun. I think the key for me, because I already told you, you know, I worked full time and blah, 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 and did all this stuff as a district officer. When I realized what was important was that I needed to experience every moment. I needed to savor every moment. I needed to enjoy the fun things and learn from the challenging things. Because that was going to make me a better person when it was over. And I didn't, you know, there's a lot of times when I hear leaders say, oh gosh, I can't wait until, you know, the TLI is over, or I can't wait until my area contest is done. And I get that, you know, because it is a lot of work. But I just am a firm believer in stepping up, taking it on, moving through it the best you can, and having fun with it. One of the funniest district meetings that I was ever in was the year that Burl Anderson was district governor, Gary Schmidt was
Lieutenant governor.
Lieutenant governor, education and training, and then I was the newbie. I was the club person. So we did this skit at a district meeting, and Gary was driving, and Burl was sitting in the passenger seat, in the front seat, and I was sitting in the back seat, and we were pretending like we were going over to Southern Oregon to do something, you know, with the clubs over there in the area. And my role was just to sit in the back seat and every once in a while say, are we there yet? Are we there yet? And Burl and Gary were actually doing all of the talking. But the funniest part about it, and I've never forgotten it, was when Gary was pretending to drive, and then, I don't know, when he was pulling into the parking lot, he hit the curb or something, and Burl happened to be putting some lipstick on, for real, she was putting lipstick on like she was getting ready to go into the meeting, and when he pretended to hit the curb, she went, like this. She had this big streak of red lipstick on her face. I could not look at her for the rest of the meeting, even though right after the skit she had wiped it off, but I could not forget that. I mean, it just, so having fun in Toastmasters, however you can do it, making friends with people too. Gary, Burl, and I are still friends after all this time. Once a month we go out to dinner and talk about what we're doing, what we've done, and all those things. But you just really need to make sure that you have fun with your Toastmaster, or actually any leadership in any kind of volunteer organization. The leadership roles available in Toastmaster. Let's see, we were going to have a handout. Do we know where that is? Whoops. Oh, okay, cool. So on the front of the sheet, it's a map to service members. This just shows you all of the leadership roles available in Toastmasters. Some are elected, some are appointed, some are, anyway, this is the list. So there are so many resources available on the TI website. I went out there the other day just to kind of look again and see what's out there. Oh, I mean, there's the Club Leadership Manual and all these things you can just download. You don't even have to buy them anymore. The Club Leadership Manual has everything you would ever need to know about club leadership. The Area Director Guide is out there, the District Leadership Handbook. I mean, there are so many resources out there for you. Other people within the district who have done these roles. So, Emily, what is a favorite leadership role you have done?
Becoming an area director was my most favorite role of all the roles. I started here at the TLI. I came in as a BPM. I attended the BPM in June of, I can't remember now. The division director for Division E, Willamette Division, Kathleen Tolley. Kathleen, where are you? There she is. She has become my friend. Why? She asked me, do you want to become an area director in a training? And some of you will be attending this training. And I said, what is that? She explained, I said, okay, I'll think about it. I left the meeting. I didn't think about it. A month and a half later, there was a training, a makeup training. She was there. It's like, oh my God, that woman. She's going to ask me. She did. She said, have you thought of becoming an area director? And I said, I'll think about it for a few more minutes or something to that effect. And I left, I thought about it, and I forgot. A month later, or perhaps a month later, it was the president of my club who said, Emily, Area 65 still doesn't have an area director. That's 3 not on. I said, oh my God, is this for me? So I called Kathleen and I asked her, I said, I'll take on the position as long as you mentor me. She said yes. And that began my journey. That is really it. And thanks to that woman right there.
Thank you, Emily. So on the back of this page, there's some questions that I want everybody to think about. What do you gain from Toastmaster leadership? What skills do you have now that will help you be successful? And which Toastmaster leadership roles are you most interested in? Why? And what are you going to do about it? So we don't have time today really to do this, because, yeah, put you on the spot. What Toastmaster leadership role would you like? No.
I'll think about it.
Okay. Think about it. Take these home and think about it. Because guess what? It's about time to be thinking about what district office you want to run for pretty soon. And go ahead and think about it. Be prepared. Think about what your goals are, what you like to do, what is in it for you. Because there's a lot that's in it for us when we take on leadership roles. We give a lot, but we also get a lot. So today, we've talked about heart. Here's what you gain as a leader. Everyone has goals. Amazing, meaningful work. Remember to have fun. And the leadership roles available. Has anybody thought of any other words that I should have used? No. I want to leave you all with this quote from Elizabeth Andrew, and unfortunately, I don't know who she is, but I loved this quote. Volunteers do not necessarily have the time, they just have the heart.
Yes, that's perfect.
I mean, it just summed it up for me. And members of the Heart of Toastmasters. And because we're all members of Toastmasters, we're the heart. All of you here. Everybody in your clubs who isn't here today. It's okay. We're all the heart of Toastmasters. Consider stepping up to a leadership role. I know that it's a lot of work, but consider stepping up to a leadership role because you will give so much and you will gain so much. And if you need encouragement, call me because I know you can do it.